something bothers me watching the Rockets play.
What's that?
And it's very earlier in the season. Very early. I don't get too enthusiastic about the preseason, but there are certain trends that don't change. When we talk about dynamic duos, when you see LeBron James talking about Anthony Davis, he's being deferential.
Mm-hmm.
When you see Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they're talking about sacrificing. When I'm watching the Rockets play, Harden playing the exact same way. Like Russ ain't even there. And you know what else he's doing? Distorting the spacing when he's not initiating the offense. And here's what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. Russell's running a pick and roll on the right wing instead of James Harden being at the top of the floor.
One of the best three-point shooters in the game.
Or sliding to the left so that now if I get off the pick and roll, I could turn the corner and go down the middle or draw help and kick it to him. He's drifting back towards half court.
This is not new with James Harden.
I've been talking about this
not
for
new
years.
With James Harden.
Okay, I pointed this out for years. This doesn't look like a great player partnership in the preseason.
Let's see. I'm a little reserve judgment.
In the preseason.
There's a little hint of maybe this isn't the perfect, most compatible two players in the world, but we'll reserve judgment until the regular season.
Because you know how much I love Russell Westbrook.
I know. When you gave him a hug, did you go straight in for the hug or did you like a pound and then a hug?
Straight in for a hug.
Straight in for the hug.
He deserved it.
Jalen, every once in a while, there's some sound. There's a news story where I'm like, I need to hear Jalen Rose react to this. And the latest was this from John Calipari.
If anybody supports more rounds in the draft, those more rounds are to get kids to go to the G League. You do not care about college basketball or you're trying to ruin college basketball. This is about what are we encouraging a 9th or 10th grader to do? If you're for more than the 2 draft rounds in the NBA, you all know that's to draft for the G League and encourage kids not to go to college. I'm not for that.
Jalen, I've been in the media a long time. I know what he's doing. He's getting ahead of it. He sees which way the wind is blowing. He's like, oh, okay, the one and done rule is going to go away. That means the top flight high school kids go straight to the league. And, oh, wait a second, you're going to have a 3rd round in the draft trying to get some more kids to go to the G League. What is left for top flight programs like the University of Kentucky? If those two things happen, what is left for college basketball?
So I love Coach Cal, and I appreciate that sound so much that I'm going to guarantee that I'm going to reach out to him and have him be a guest on our show. Because of this reason. He's exactly right.
He is.
When the top players are allowed to enter the NBA draft, by the way, they're only
without going to college. That only represents really 5 people maximum a year. It could be like 8, you know what I mean? But like it's not like we're talking about
that
20 players.
But being ready and being developed is 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
So when that player now is able to go from high school to the NBA draft, that means you have a second tier of players that are going to go to college. That don't mean they're going to be ready after 1 year.
No.
Because usually the same player that's ready after 12th grade is the player that was, in theory, by the system, forced to go to college like a Zion Williamson.
You got the 3rd round of the NBA draft. You pick that guy that's not ready, and you just say, you know what? He'll be in Westchester for us for a year or 2, and we'll develop him there instead of him being developed in college.
Well, I got some advice for the players.
Oh, you do?
You don't want to be a 3rd, 4th round NBA draft pick. Let me tell you a sentence that has never been uttered by a young player that loves basketball. I can't wait to be in the G League.
It's been my dream. I've always dreamed of playing in front of 45 people.
That sentence has never been said, okay? So now all of a sudden, you create a 3rd round of players that make less than $100,000 a year to play basketball. Their infrastructure is to play in the G League, to play overseas. And you know what happens to those guys? They don't make it to the NBA.
It's hard to get back. Jalen, we had Jalen Ramsey in the news. Big day for Jalen's. Now we have Jalen Brown in the news. So the extensions are up in about a week.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some players that are looking, you guys, you're going to take care of me. One of those players is Jalen Brown. Reportedly, as part of the negotiations, Jalen Brown was offered $80 million in a 4-year deal, $20 million a year. He turned that down. So, Jalen, what do you think about that Jalen sort of betting on himself and saying, if you're going to sign me to extension, you're going to sign me to big money because I'm going to be a star?
I try to do a better job of acknowledging this because this was important to me as a young person. The people that I feel would be successful in life if they didn't have basketball. Jaylen Brown falls into that category.
Yeah.
He's intelligent.
CJ McCollum, too.
He's indisciplined. I would bet on myself, too. Here's why. A couple of years ago, he and Tatum were looking eye to eye as breakout prospects.
Mm-hmm.
He took a step back to the point last year where he was a substitute.
He was.
This year, he's going to be a starter. And I got a case study for you as a contract that I'm walking into the office with. Harrison Barnes. He got paid more than that already.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be starting for the Celtics, I anticipate the Celtics definitely will be better this year than they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
You don't sneeze at $80 million ever.
No.
However, he now as a starter and as a two-way player is going to play his value to more money than that.
His value's going up. That's great advice, Jalen, for that, Jalen.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.